Ladies and gentlemen, with South Park's obesity special taking the internet by storm, forcing Lizzo to respond and harassing the American healthcare system, there is lots of excitement to be had. And in the form of that excitement, the many, many traumas of Butters' Stotch. So Butters is the punching bag of literally the entire show. Blooms dropped a big fat video on this, and I have never really watched South Park substantially. I've only seen, like, the episodes calling out specific things, and I've recently been getting into the lore of it all. So I'm here for that Butters lore. I feel like we can't actually move forward with all these other lore dives until I properly comprehend the depth of trauma of the lore of Butters, all right? And, bro, I've seen South Park. I've seen some episodes here and there. There's no way anything in here is actually gonna shock me, okay? All right, okay, all right. Well, anyway, let's talk about the American healthcare system and why it's bad.
When we talk about characters in South Park that everyone loves, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone that doesn't love Butters.
Oh boy, it's me, Butters. That's all I know about him. That and he gets hurt sometimes. I don't know. There's no way this is gonna be that traumatizing, okay? Just because this is the blind reaction to every single Butters trauma, it's not like it's actually gonna affect me, dude. Please.
He's incredibly kind, caring, and funny, and because of that, he holds a soft spot in the hearts of many South Park fans. Because of this, I tend to find myself rooting for him whenever things aren't quite going his way, which, unfortunately, is pretty common.
I mean, I love the gimmick of Butters. If you think about it, the Butters gimmick is he's nice in a world where no one is nice, and everyone that's not nice takes advantage of people that are nice. I feel like he's a caricature of that mentality. The fact that, are you a nice guy? Well, you're in a mean world, and therefore, you're going to get fucked. But if you are really nice and truly kind, then you'll still have a happier life than all the motherfuckers trying to fuck you. And I think that's really wholesome. It's like me on Twitter. I'm literally the nicest guy, maybe ever, and the most humble. And I still get canceled on Twitter like every single day.
I don't think I'm very happy. I always fall asleep to the sound of my own screams.
Okay, I take it back. He's not heavy. He doesn't have a good life. I take it all back.
If you clicked on this video, you probably have at least some knowledge of the fact that Butters is often the victim of some pretty unfavorable circumstances.
That's all I know. There's no way it's gonna fucking go crazy, right?
And if not, well, by the end of this video, you'll be very knowledgeable on the topic. You see, recently I was chatting with a friend who doesn't really watch South Park when they made a remark along the lines of, I've seen an episode where Butters was treated terribly. I felt so bad for him.
Real, true, dude, real. There was this one time where they went for, like, food, and they forgot Butters, and he wasn't invited, and he felt so left out. And then I find out, oh, Nux, you poor little sweet summer child. They didn't just forget Butters. They locked him in an apocalypse bunker and told him that the entire human race was exterminated. And I was like, wait, what? Is that? Are you sure that's what happened? Like, are you sure that's canon or something? Like, there's no way they went that far, right?
It was at that moment that I decided I'm not going to do what I would usually do when someone brings up something I'm interested in, which is spend the next 45 minutes going through its entire history only to...
He's literally me. Oh, no, dude. I love Blooms so much. Blooms makes the best fucking South Park videos. God, I love this man's content.
Realize that they didn't care at all and were just asking to be nice. Instead...
Dude, I literally did this to my brother yesterday. You have no idea. I was talking to my brother, and my brother's I asked him, what are you watching these days? He said he's watching the new Demon Slayer. He's enjoying it. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going through all the lore of Warhammer 40K. And he's like, what's Warhammer 40K? And I'm like, sit down and let me tell you about the Imperium and the grim darkness of the future. And he was like, what? And you don't understand. I went on, I'm not even joking, a 10-minute monologue talking about fucking Necrons and Eldar and Slanesh, okay? And he was just like, all right, honestly. He was just, okay, dude. All right, bro.
Instead, I decided I would make a video where I try to explain every single time Butters was traumatized throughout the history of South Park. Then I would just tell that friend to watch said video.
Dude, honestly, that's so wholesome. That is so wholesome.
I mean, they probably won't watch it, but at least I'll get it out of my system. It's no secret that the writers love to find lots of creative and unique ways to make Butters' life absolutely miserable.
No! Don't say it like that! Butters is a pure pill, okay? Listen. Ignorance is bliss, and he is ignorant, so therefore his life is blissful. Just because you, a cognitive machine, looks at his life and will say, oh, because I know that if this would happen to me, I would be fucked up and it would be terrible. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, that does not equate to him having a bad life. For example, do you know how many times I have people say to me, family members and friends, it's like, oh, hey, I saw that there's like 40,000 people on Twitter wishing for your death threats because you watched a video called All Tomorrows, and there's 40,000 people that are wishing you're dead now. And I'm like, bro, that's not a problem at all. Like, that literally doesn't bother me. Literally not at all. And then you have to explain to them that don't worry. So sometimes, it's always different. It's different from person to person. Butters can live in bliss. I'm saying this like nice wholesome thing, and then he's gonna show me some of the actual trauma he went through. I'm literally gonna change my tune, aren't I?
And over the years, he's suffered more than pretty much any other character in the show, with the only exception being the character who has literally been gruesomely killed dozens of times.
Yeah, Kenny doesn't count. He's an animatronic.
In fact, if you go to his page on the South Park archives, he has an entire section devoted to his psychological traumas.
That's crazy! On my wiki, I also have an entire section devoted to my psychological trauma.
So with all of that in mind, I thought it would be fun to go back to the beginning.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
And talk about every single time Butters experienced something traumatizing in chronological order.
So we are actually going down the trauma deep dive. Every single traumatic experience that ever happened to this man. Oh, that's a lot of trauma. Oh my god, you're gonna need more than flex tape to fix that. Oh lord.
We can better appreciate Butters for just how much suffering he has experienced in the name of entertainment. And this is...
Dude, I guess the moral of the story, I say before the story even starts, it's okay to be blissful, but don't be fucking naive.
Going to be a character analysis or anything like that. If you want that, I highly recommend you check out my boy Johnny Tucello's video on Butters' character progression over time. This video is just going to focus on the many instances of Butters being traumatized and the context for each one. Now, this list is going to contain every major traumatic experience for Butters, but there are some exceptions. I won't be counting times when Butters was unaware of what was really happening, because even if he should have been traumatized, he still wasn't.
Based! You want to cure any mental anguish that you've gone through? Well, just simply lobotomize yourself. Because if you don't know it's something bad is happening, well then, technically, did it even happen? I'm just saying, if something painful happens to you, but you're so fucking high out of your mind that you don't feel pain, were you in pain? The answer is no! That's right, baby!
Also, I'm not going to bring up every time he was treated poorly or something bad happened to him, since that would add at least a few hours to this video, so keep in mind that the focus here is moments that would be truly traumatizing.
Oh, fuck, dude. He's like, listen, we're not talking about life-altering trauma, because compared to what Butters normally goes through, that's bullshit.
Even though I'm pretty sure I tackled all the major ones, I still may have missed some, so feel free to let me know in the comments. And also, if you enjoy this video, you will definitely like my other ones, so feel free to subscribe. So,
all right,
with the intro out of the way...
Yeah, definitely subscribe to Blooms. Blooms makes some really good fucking shit. I love his content, honestly.
Let's get into it. This is the many, many traumas of
Butters Stotch, baby! Let's go!
But first, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video.
That's pretty awesome.
And at home, his parents are notorious being picked on. And thank you to Adam and Eve for sponsoring this video.
Adam and Eve! More like Adam and Steve! No, that's not how the line goes.
Okay, so before we get into specific events, we need to talk about the general abuse that Butters suffers on a regular basis.
If it's just family abusing you, okay, that's bad. Okay, that's fucking bad. Public humiliation is bad, which is why I think we should bring back shaming people. Can we please bring back public shaming? I think that would definitely maybe make people think twice. Next time someone that's praising the shadows decides to drop a 3-hour hit piece on me and all of my friends, all right? Maybe the retribution should be public shaming. Maybe someone wouldn't slander somebody else if public shaming was gonna happen.
He is constantly being picked on and ridiculed by his classmates for seemingly no reason, and at home his parents are notoriously bad at being parents. Not really
common parents, am I right, guys? Am I right, guys?
Having an understanding of how to discipline their child appropriately.
Doctor, what can we do? Should we ground him?
So on top of everything, we'll...
What's wrong with that? Come on.
Talk about...
Nux, remember when Twitch labeled you an incel? Twitch did that? I remember Twitter did that. All right. Listen, I can't keep track with all the people that tried to cancel me and all the names I've been called. I don't know. The big standout ones are Gooner, Nazi, and generally problematic.
He's kind of always being traumatized, just more slowly over time. So as you may or may not know, Butters was primarily a background character for the first 2 seasons of the show.
I didn't realize. I thought he was always kind of a main guy. Well, I guess they liked having the public punching bag so much they made him a main character.
His first major speaking role coming in Season 3's Two Guys Naked in a Hot Tub. Side note, I really love reading the titles of old episodes and imagining someone watching this video who doesn't really know anything about South Park and just being very confused. Anyways. So our first time seeing Butters experience some horribly traumatic events comes at the end of Season 5.
Season 5? It took 5 seasons until this? That's crazy.
With Butters' very own episode. Some would argue it's not—
oh boy, Butters' very own episode.
Not really the first time, since Cartman encourages him to take one for the team and get assaulted by Nambla back in Season 4.
What? You're just gonna gloss over that? Take one for the team and get assaulted? That's pretty bad.
But he was lucky enough to avoid actually being assaulted, so I'm not going to count that. And even though this is the first time we see Butters experience major trauma, that doesn't mean they go easy on him, because it's definitely one of the worst things he's experienced. So his parents' wedding anniversary is coming up, and his mom encourages him to spy on his dad while he shops for her anniversary gift.
Based parents! Based parents! Based parents! Let's go! Spying on each other, using the kids, manipulate. Yeah! Otherwise, what's the point of kids, if not to spy on your spouse?
So that she can gift him something of equal quality. What I'm sure he did not expect to see was his father visiting an adult movie theater and cruising gay bathhouses.
Oh, I was so excited for us. I thought that this was going to be like, the parents are getting the kids to spy on each other because, No.
Because he's such a lovable and innocent child, he has no understanding of what he's seeing, so he snaps some pics and shows them to his mom.
Oh, god damn.
Predictably, this leads to a full-on psychotic break from his mother, who decides to do the only rational thing.
Repaint the house?
Kill Butters.
Oh, Butters, no. You fucking kidding me? There's no way. How is he still so jovial and happy? I just watched the end of Obesity special. I have that video up on the channel already. And he was like so jolly going around trying to navigate the American healthcare system, which is a freaking interstellar millennium puzzle-esque labyrinth of nightmares and atrocities. He was so wholesome. How did he survive this? This is the first major trauma on the list.
Fortunately for Butters, he not only survives his mother's attempt at his life—
oh my god, she puts him in a car and tries to drive him off a dock? Jesus fucking Christ.
But is still completely unaware of what's actually going on. This includes his mother's attempt to murder him, his father's infidelity, and his mother's attempt at her own life later on. That is, until they describe it in detail in front of him, causing him to come to a disturbing realization.
Wait, so he went through all of that not noticing it? And it was only when they literally said it in, like, a press conference that he noticed?
I was going to gay movie and bathhouses and having sex with random men who were complete strangers.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I went crazy and I drove my son into the lake to kill him.
Kill me? Jesus Christ.
So yeah, right—
oh no. No! That's so messed up. Yeah, okay, alright. Listen.
out of the gate, Matt and Trey let us know that Butters will be experiencing some seriously messed up stuff. Unfortunately for Butters, there are about 20 more seasons worth of opportunities for the writers to traumatize him, and as you'll see, they will be taking full advantage.
When I have a Chipotle blue cheese bacon burger at Bennigan's, I'll forget all about my dad being queer and my mom trying to kill me. I'm gonna be okay. Really? No, I'm lying.
Oh, he's trying so hard. Dude, that's why it's important to... Oh my god, dude. Listen, bro. You'd call him the R word, but that would not be as a slur. That would be a actual mental diagnosis. But that said, oh my god, dude. That's rough, buddy. I guess you got to keep a smile on your face. Ultimately, what you feel on the inside is worth so much more than what you're putting out on the outside. However, if you put it out on the outside, it can reflect back on your insides. If you make believe you're happy, at some point, hopefully, maybe it could seep in and actually make you happy. I don't know, maybe that's just been my experience, laughing at all the hate that I've been getting for years, and at this point, it really doesn't bother me. It really makes me laugh when I see a tweet with 20,000 likes telling me to kill myself.
Now, it's pretty clear that the writers realized they had struck gold with Butters' character,
Oh
since
god, that's so sad.
they decided to subject him to more torment in the very next episode.
No!
Throughout season 6, the boys continuously remind him that he's an inferior friend to Kenny, who died semi-permanently at the end of Season 5 and is absent throughout the entirety of Season 6.
Damn.
I made a whole video about that a long time ago. It's actually one of my first South Park videos on this channel,
Ah!
so if you want to check it out, feel free to do so. So as you could imagine,
Feel free to do so. Literally me when I'm like, oh hey, I covered this in a video 6 years ago.
being constantly told that your friends like their other friend who recently died way better than you would probably be pretty damaging to your psyche, but that's not the trauma we're talking about here.
I love how he just brushes it off. It's like, oh man, I wish that you guys, I wish you were like Kenny. He's dead. You're inferior to that guy that was just killed. Anyway, and it like doesn't bother him at all. He's like, oh boy, at least I'm included.
The boys realize that they can use this to manipulate Butters into doing whatever they want him to do.
Dude, kids are fucking evil. Have you noticed?
So they take advantage of this. They come up with a plan to get rich by gaining a bunch of weight and then losing it by only eating City Walk. They were inspired to do this by Jared Fogel's campaign with Subway.
No!
Man, I haven't heard that name in a while. I wonder what that dude's up to nowadays.
Oh god.
So they...
I feel like by the fact that he mentioned that, by the fact that he fucking mentioned that, there has to be something going on with my guy. What is happening with him? Why would you do that? Why would you make that joke? Jared Fogle, former face of Subway, is scheduled for prison release in 2029? Wait, what? Various sex crimes pertaining to minors and children. All right. Well, you know, now the more you know, I guess. The more you fucking know. The more you know. Well, anyway. How dare they get him out in 2029? This guy's an actual pedophile and they're letting him out in 5 years? That's fucked up.
They managed to fatten Butters up, but they didn't take into account how difficult it would be to actually lose the weight. So,
Oh my god, they actually fattened him up. They actually fattened him up like a fucking pig. Oh my god, that's awful.
they come up with a new plan to perform some homemade
He'll probably die in jail. I mean, if he actually did commit sex crimes with minors, I sure hope he dies in jail.
liposuction surgery. And this goes exactly as well as you would
Like they do at home liposuction surgery on him, bro. Why is there fucking cum flying out of his stomach? I don't like this at all.
expect it to go, and Butters' parents
Listen, Kenny, he probably has a doctor in the family. What can I say? He's a good Jewish boy. He definitely has a doctor in the family.
find him in a rather unfortunate position.
This is unbelievable. How many times have we told you never to have self-performed liposuction surgery in our house?
What?
4 times, Mom.
4 times?
I guess that wasn't enough.
Now, technically, his reaction
Okay.
to this doesn't necessarily indicate that he's been traumatized, but I can't imagine going through a botched operation like that and having no lingering effects on your mental health. Regardless, in the same episode, Butters is grounded due to his liposuction surgery, so Cartman stays at his house to talk to his parents on the phone while Butters goes to finish their plan. Cartman puts on his best Butters impression and says some pretty terrible stuff to his parents, leading to his parents coming home and physically abusing him. Now, this is the only time we actually witness this from his parents.
What? Cartman, what? Cartman, you fucker. At least the gaining weight liposuction shit was some sort of make money scam. This is just diabolical. This is just straight up evil. Oh my fucking dude! Every time I see like another, I'm like on a South Park hiatus, and then I come back to start exploring the lore a little bit more. And then I see something South Park does. It just reminds me that bro is an actual villain. Holy shit.
But the fact that they were willing to do it at all suggests that it's probably not that uncommon. I don't think I need to tell you that that can be pretty damaging to a child's mental health. After this,
You don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me, bro. Please, you don't need to tell me. Hilarious. Yeah, please.
Butters makes it through season 6 mostly unscathed, with only small moments of trauma, like when he's convinced to go on the Maury show with balls on his chin, pretending to have a deformity for a prize. He joins a union of people with deformities and lives in constant fear of being found out. Luckily for him, they don't actually end up finding him out, but he does get grounded. In episode 7, he also suffers from a psychotic break after every supervillain idea he comes up with has already been done by The Simpsons, but eventually he comes to the realization that it doesn't matter and everything turns out okay. So nothing too traumatizing throughout the rest of season 6.
That's okay, that's fine. That's cool.
That is until we get to episode
What the hell title
throughout
is
the
this
rest of
episode?
season 6. That is until we get to episode
Trot Fottert?
When Butters tries to watch Lord of the Rings on DVD, he accidentally ends up watching the notorious adult video entitled Backdoor Sluts 9.
Okay, sure, all right. Listen, we've covered all sorts of child abuse. Listen, I don't think kids should be seeing porn in any metric. I think that porn should be completely inaccessible to children. That said, like, as far as trauma goes, I don't think Butters gooning is on the same level as done DIY liposuction, okay?
After Randy mixed it up with the Lord of the Rings DVD. Now, it's pretty well known that content like this can be pretty damaging to the mind, especially when exposed to it at a young age.
Yeah, it's obviously fucked up, don't get me wrong, but you can't compare it to the crazy abuse that he's been going through until now.
In this case, the effects to his mind are immediate and severe, as he devolves into a golem-like creature who refers to the tape as his precious. Coincidentally, the boys are playing Lord of the Rings, having just watched the film, and as they venture to return the tape to the rental place, Butters is continuously chasing them down, trying to get his hands on the tape again. When the boys finally make it to the Dropbox, Butters grabs onto the tape and refuses to let go. Seeing no other option, Kyle throws the tape into the Dropbox along with Butters.
What?! Oh my god, that's bro turns into Golem. My precious, please, Herbitus, give me the gooner tape. I am gooning everywhere. Yeah.
In the last shot of the episode, we see Butters laying in the Dropbox, clutching onto his copy of Backdoor Sluts 9.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my lord, that is fucked up. That is fucked up.
Backdoor Sluts 9.
Aside from getting trauma, they just left him gooning in that box. Holy crap. Brother. Why was that voice so good? Bro, you don't know that I am a Smeagol enthusiast. What can I say? I've mastered the goon K voices. He's trapped in the blockbuster, says. Subscribe and leave a like on the channel, says. Casa Bonita, Casa Bonita. I know this one, brother. Oh my god. All right, this is the one that I know. All right, I wasn't aware of that other creepy shit, but I freaking knew this one.
When Kyle decides to go to Casa Bonita for his birthday,
Casa Bonita,
Cartman is
Casa Bonita.
absolutely distraught when he invites someone else.
Kyle went to Casa Bonita for his birthday? Casa Bonita for his birthday? Bro, Casa Bonita isn't kosher. Damn. Is it? Let's see, how do we find this shit? Does anyone say it? Casa Bonita restaurant. I don't know, man. Kind of looks like Casa Bonita isn't kosher to me. Wow! Look at this guy. Look at them. Look at these dudes. Oh my god. I cannot believe they would do this. I don't believe this. Oh my god. That is awful. But is it cheap though? Oh my fucking god, Chad. No, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Oh my god. This is heresy.
Instead of him. Can you guess who he invited instead of Cartman? Butters, of course, and when Cartman realizes that Butters is in his place, he recognizes an opportunity to take advantage of his innocence. The plan? First, pretend
this fucking plan. This one I remember. Oh my fucking god. This one I remember.
To be genuine and apologize to Kyle. He'll buy it and invite Cartman as a backup if Butters is unable to make it. Next, go to Butters and convince him that an apocalyptic meteor is heading straight for Earth.
Makes sense.
Take him to Uncle Jimbo's bomb shelter and lock him in there all alone for an entire week.
There he is with him and Oompaville sitting in the bomb shelter.
This plays out mostly according to plan, and Butters is left believing that the apocalypse has happened and him and Cartman are the only survivors. After the town begins to expand their search efforts, Cartman then takes Butters out of the bomb shelter and takes him to the outskirts of town with a blindfold on. He then pretends to be attacked and killed by cannibals and locks him in an old broken fridge.
He what? Dude, I thought, huh? When I heard about this one, I thought that the whole trauma was locking him in the bomb shelter, talking about how all of society was destroyed. And that was it. They left him in a fridge. Bro, dude, that one I was with you until that point. Bro literally lived like a Fallout character for a week. That's what I imagined.
On. He then pretends to be attacked and killed by cannibals and locks him in an old broken fridge.
He pretends to be murdered in front of him and locks him in a fridge to be later consumed. Oh, Butters. Oh, Butters. Oh, no.
The fridge is then picked up.
I underestimate the depravity of Eric Cartman. Bro, this fucking guy would make Griffith look like a pussycat.
Taken to the garbage dump where Butters begins to rebuild society all alone.
What?
Garbage lady eventually reveals the truth to him.
He's actually trying to rebuild society because he thinks, oh my god, dude.
And everything turns out okay in the end. But for a week, Butters was left all alone in a bomb shelter believing that the apocalypse happened, everyone he loved was dead, and his only surviving friend was killed by cannibals trying to save him. I can only imagine how damaging
Rosie's the lady in the garbage oven is like, well, guess it's time to repopulate the earth.
All of that would be to an 8-year-old boy. And because of that, I can pretty confidently say that this is the most traumatic event that he's experienced so far.
Oh my god, yeah, no. This one is up there. This one I literally knew was up there. This is the one that I heard about. Oh my god. And even though I heard about it, it was still worse than I thought. Imagine being locked in a fridge where your only living friend, because everyone else was murdered, all right? Everyone else was murdered, okay? So your only living friend gets eaten by cannibals, and you are next. It's inconceivable. Like the legend, the insane. Can you imagine writing this? Can you imagine writing this? How do you even come up with something that traumatic and awful? It's like when I think traumatic, I'm like, all right, basic trauma, you know, basic bitch traumas, dude.
Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this one since I have an entire video about it, which you can check out. But in episode 14 of season 7, Butters falls in love with a waitress at Raisins.
Ah, Butters!
Because of his innocence, he doesn't understand that she's flirting with him for tips, and he goes through all of the...
It's Raisins instead of Hooters because they're tiny. Is that the joke? Is that the fucking joke? Oh, man. No, but he became a simp! He became a simp! He didn't realize that the Twitch streamer that he was donating his money to, he didn't realize that she didn't love him back. He gave her all of his money on OnlyFans and she didn't love him.
The emotions that
he fell for the OnlyFans, bro. They lock him in the goon cave one time too many.
Come along with a first love. When she inevitably lets Butters know that they aren't dating, he is absolutely heartbroken. Despite his heartbreak, he still has a pretty positive outlook on the situation.
Wholesome. I guess, honestly, breaking your heart is fucking traumatic.
And it's debatable whether or not this would even be considered a traumatic event, but I figured I'd mention it mostly so you guys go watch my video.
I mean, that is valid. Getting your heart broken, falling for that, it's literally ruined people's lives. You have stories of people that have donated tens of thousands of dollars to OnlyFans girls that obviously don't give a fucking shit about them. And they get their hearts broken when they realize, holy shit, this person actually doesn't care about me, right? It actually does mess people up. So I think it was definitely a worthwhile inclusion on the list. Good times with weapons? Oh, no. Oh, no.
You see, Season 8 is where they really begin to get sadistic with the Butters torture.
Come again? Season 8's where they start to get sadistic? Where they start to get sadistic. Season 8, I don't think I heard right. One second.
You see, Season 8 is where they really begin to get sadistic with...
Oh fuck, I'm not ready. Oh fuck, I'm not locked in enough. Holy shit. Oh no, oh god.
The Butters torture. We get a hot start...
This was the light shit? Oh, dude.
...to the season with Good Times with Weapons, in which the boys play with some ninja weapons they bought from the flea market.
Based.
Butters wants to play with them, so he becomes Professor Chaos. They get a bit carried away, and Kenny throws a shuriken directly into Butters' eye.
Just throws... Well, I guess that's...
If that wasn't bad enough, the rest of the
What?
episode follows the boys making the situation just so much worse.
Oh my god, why, bro? No!
First, they try to yank it out with a pair of pliers, which is incredibly hard to watch, and because they're the worst, most selfish people ever, they come up with a plan to disguise Butters as a dog and bring him to the vet so that they can get him medical attention without their parents finding out.
What the fuck? They think he's Joey Wheeler? They think he's Joey Wheeler?
They cover him in dog hair and force him to bark before making their trip to the vet.
All right, now we just gotta sneak him into town.
They get distracted by a battle, and Butters fortunately slips away, barely making it to the hospital and collapsing in the lobby. Unfortunately for him, the disguise was incredibly believable.
Can you help him, Doctor?
I'm afraid I wouldn't know how. Unfortunately for this little fella, I'm a people doctor.
Oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is the worst thing ever. What is even going on, bro? Oh my god, they put a leash on him and everything. Oh my god, dude, make it stop. Oh, dude, the Eldar couldn't come up with punishments this perverted. Slanesh would stay away from this shit. Oh god.
As if things couldn't get any worse,
Dude, Guts had it better.
He ends up in a cage at the animal shelter where many of the dogs see him as a fresh patch of grass.
This is the worst thing in the world. I can't believe they keep going. How do they keep going? It's like one traumatic thing's happen and you're like, all right, that's pretty fucked up. And then they literally build on it. They build on it so gruesomely.
The workers then decide to euthanize him, but he...
Oh my god, dude! Every sentence he says is literally sending chills down my spine.
He's able to get away. He ends up at the town auction and is finally given medical attention.
Okay, can you explain to me why Cartman's naked? You know, actually, don't explain to me why Cartman's naked.
You know, despite how terrible it must have been, I can't imagine it was quite as traumatizing as believing everyone you know is dead, but it seems like probably a pretty close second.
No, that one's bad. That one's bad as fuck. That one is fucking bad. I'm just saying. You got F'd in the A? Oh, dude, no. These are 8-year-olds. Please stop. Please. When I thought we were going through all the Butters trauma, I thought we'd have like 3-4 Butter traumatic experience. I didn't think we'd have a freaking wiki page worth. There are more traumatic experiences than there are freaking war crimes done in the Imperium of Man. What is even going on? Stewie became pregnant with Brian's DNA. I'm not even touching that right now.
After Stan gets served and then serves the kids back, it's on.
So now, I guess, it's on.
Oh god.
Because of this, Stan begins searching for a fourth member to join his dance crew.
Okay.
And he learns that Butters was a state champion tap dancer.
No, Butters. Have you seen the Lizzo thing? Dude, I literally just uploaded my whole reaction and analysis to the obesity thing. Dude. It's when parents are the fucking source of so much child trauma. It is so hard to survive in school. It is literally so hard to survive in school. It's so difficult. And then parents are like, oh, we're going to teach you to become a ballerina. And then it's over. It's literally over.
This seems like a natural choice, but when he asks Butters about it, he seems completely terrified at the thought. We later learn that during his routine at the state championships, one of his shoes flies off of his foot and hits a light, causing a chain reaction that leads to the gruesome deaths of 8 people in the crowd.
Dude, that's traumatizing! That is traumatizing! He accidentally killed 8 people as a child! That's traumatizing.
Side note, I'm like 90% sure that this sequence is supposed to be a parody of Final Destination, but I've never actually seen anyone confirm that, so I figured I'd just throw it out there. Interestingly enough, this is the trauma that we can see affects him more than anything else.
He's literally such a good guy. He was abused. His mother tried to kill him. His dad cheated on his wife. His friends threw a shuriken in his eye. He locked him in a bunker for a week, told him there was an apocalypse and everyone he loved is dead. But he's such a good guy. He's so wholesome that the thing that haunts him the most is that he killed 8 people. Oh my god, this little dude doesn't deserve all this shit, man. I don't know.
Throughout the episode, he has panic attacks and flashbacks anytime tap dancing is mentioned, and his mother discusses the many years of therapy he went through following the incident. In fact, his main storyline throughout the episode follows him as he grapples with overcoming this trauma. By the end of the episode, he comes through for Stan and shows up to the dance battle.
Let's go.
So even though this was
this king, actual king,
his worst trauma, he was able to overcome it by the end. So I guess this one doesn't really count. Oh, wait, I forgot about the exact same thing also happens again at the end, so kind of.
Only South Park could be this fucking based and literally write this as a plot. Only fucking South Park can get away with this shit. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Dude, it's so cruel. It's so cruel to do this to fucking character. Like, I know it's a fictional character, right? But dude, this is crazy. How would they? Oh my lord.
It just redoes all the trauma. Never mind. It's still pretty bad.
No!
This poor guy. Oh my lord. Oh.
Continuing on through Season 8, Episode 10 sees the boys' greatest fear come true as Trent Boyette is released from juvie. Back in preschool, they asked him to start a fire so that they could play firemen, but when they couldn't put it out, it permanently disfigures their teacher and gets Trent sent to juvie. Butters wasn't even playing, he just happened to be watching, and he refused to defend Trent out of fear of being grounded. So when Butters learns that he's been freed, he immediately begins hiding in his room out of fear. Of course, his parents see this and force him to go outside and play, where Trent Boyette is waiting for him.
Oh my lord, dude. He literally did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. He was just a fence sitter.
He enacts his revenge on Butters brutally and swiftly.
He does? Dude, parents literally... Y'all have a kid that's actually sitting there scared for his life. Literally scared for his life. And parents will be like, oh, he's just a kid. He's fucking dumb. Send him into the cold. Dude, this is like so real.
Using every painful move a bully knows. This leaves Butters comatose in the hospital.
He received a massive snuggie. He also received 2 Indian sunburns on his forearms, a Charlie horse on the thigh, and a second-degree titty twister. It also looks like he received a noogie and a Polish bike ride.
What's that?
We aren't sure. We only know that there is no cure.
No. Every form of bullying known to man.
Early reliving every agonizing Indian sunburn and titty twister over and over again in his dreams. One could only imagine how terrible it must be.
That's rough, buddy. Yeah.
So we finished Butters' legendary run through...
I remember this one. I went through the lore of all the South Park celebrity dramas, and I saw this one. Oh my god, the Paris Hilton drama, where she decided to buy him from his parents. They literally sold him. Oh my god, dude.
Season 8 with
It's like, when it's put into context that all this shit happened to Butters, it's like honestly terrifying. It's like honestly just tragic.
One of my personal favorites. Paris Hilton is visiting South Park, and after her dog passes away under mysterious circumstances, she's left devastated.
Mysterious circumstances.
Until she spots her new replacement pet.
I want that! I want that!
Lou, I've got some apples. Lou, you got
Literally such a wholesome dude. Oh.
some too?
Butters is then abducted and placed in a bear costume by Paris Hilton. When his parents find out, they're against it at first, but
then she buys him. She literally just buys him.
Paris Hilton then offers them $200 million to take him with her. Predictably, his parents request an extra $50 million on top and take the deal. Now,
I mean, realistically, they got an extra $50 million on top, so that's fair. I mean,
it's already pretty messed up for Butters to watch as his parents sell him to some random lady while...
Dude, that's crazy. Dude, just imagine thinking about sitting that your parents are just selling him into literal, just to traffic him away to live as her pet. Dude, this is fucking insane. Oh, God.
He's begging them not to. But what makes it significantly worse is that they tell him they won't sell him if he's able to come up with $250 million himself. His dad encourages him to take after his grandfather and mine coal to make the money. This leads to Butters spending the entire day digging outside until his parents eventually return with the check from Paris Hilton and send him on his way.
This is insane. This is insane. I love how all these different traumas and shit are just... I mean, Butters is the character that is all these traumas culminate in, but I feel like almost every single one of them is obviously representative of some really dark shit that actually happens in the world. Like, it's probably not as obvious as celebrity sees some kid and is like, oh, can I buy him? And Parents of the Year are like, you know what? Fair. And then they sell him, shake hands, and it's over. But shit happens, you know? Shit actually happens in the real world, where maybe kids aren't so sold outright, but you have these child actors and actresses that have no control over what they're doing, and they're literally just being pawned off to shit. Like, this, it's horrifying. Oh, God.
Well, Butters, how'd it go? Did you dig up $200 million worth of coal?
Well, no, not quite.
Oh, well, too bad. Miss Hilton did raise the money, so you'll be going off with her.
Oh my God, dude.
To me, this is kind of the perfect example of how they managed to make Butters being traumatized funny in this show, because it just gets more and more absurd as the episode goes on. First, he's abducted by the least likable person ever, then his...
Whoa, you're just gonna call out Paris Hilton like that?
Parents agree to sell him to this person despite his pleas. Then his dad encourages him to spend his entire day doing hard manual labor while being fully aware that his efforts are futile, which results in him believing that it's his fault since he wasn't able to make the money. It just gets worse and worse for him to the point where you can't help
but
but laugh.
Actual modern slavery, bro.
Laugh because it's just so ridiculous. And that's kind of the point of this video, to highlight that even though it's incredibly messed up what happens to Butters on a regular basis, it's definitely one of the funniest running gags in the show.
I mean, let's be real here. Trauma is hilarious, okay? Listen, it's a hot take, but trauma is fucking hilarious. That's why everyone loves it. But Butters is so wholesome. He remains wholesome despite all these scars. He remains wholesome, and it's so beautiful. It's okay, Paris Hilton got her comeuppance. Yeah, I did the deep dive in all the celebrity shit, all right? So I was aware of this one to some extent. It's funny when it doesn't happen to you, I guess. The death of Eric Cartman. This just seems like a W.
Now this one is probably the most iconic Butters trauma because the clip has gone viral many times and it makes for a great thumbnail. It's definitely the edgiest and most brutal way they've decided to torture him. It's the type of clip you would expect to see in one of those South Park dark humor compilations. In fact, if you just look up Butters trauma on YouTube, the first 3 videos are all—
Dude, I didn't even know this one. I didn't see this one. I saw the other stuff. I didn't know this one was a thing.
This clip. So Butters' parents begin to believe that he's completely psychotic after he starts claiming to see a dead Cartman, and this gets him institutionalized.
Is this the one where Cartman sneaks into his house? No. That was a different thing.
At the psych facility, they do some testing to see what is causing this psychosis, and this testing is a bit unorthodox.
What the f—
Testing to see what is causing this psychosis, and this testing is a—
Dude, that ain't no anal probe. What the— Oh my god, dude. Butters, no!
bit unorthodox.
Top 10 Minecraft moments? Okay, chat.
So unorthodox, in fact, that it looks less like something you would use for testing and more like something you would find on today's sponsor, Adam and— Oh, okay.
Alright, hilarious. Very funny. Hilarious. Great segue.
No, I cannot keep that in. Jesus Christ. I can't really show any of this for obvious reasons, but when the testing is finished, we learn that they were testing for 14 hours. Pretty sure
For 14 hours! Dude, bro, dude.
I don't need to explain how this would be traumatic. Well,
His anus must be prolapsed like shit right now. This poor kid. Holy fuck. And then he's just somehow wholesome after that? That's a long streak? Dude, this is like the opposite of a speed run.
This one's definitely super iconic. I'm actually not much of a fan of it. I generally prefer the more psychological Butters trauma
Same, bro. Keep it okay, please.
Experiences. But at the end of the
Epstein's favorite episode. All right, chat. Enough.
Day, this one's iconic for a reason. It's shocking enough to make the viewer laugh, even if it's out of just pure uncomfortableness. And at the very least, it's in the top 3 of his most traumatic experiences.
Don't worry, Mr. Stotch. Whatever traumatized your son in his past, we'll find it.
The worst thing I've ever seen. That's literally the worst thing I've ever seen. And his parents just watched. Oh my god, dude. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe they actually made that. I can't believe the South Park actually went this hard. Erection Day? Oh.
This next one's pretty short, but it's realistic in a way that we don't normally see with Butters' trauma.
Okay.
So during the school talent show, Butters attempted to perform his iconic Apple song, but he ends up forgetting all of the lyrics and ends up peeing his pants on stage. If there's
whatever happened to the best of us.
There's one piece of advice I would give to Butters, it seems like it's best for him to avoid performing on stages at all costs. So it's nothing too bad, but it's definitely embarrassing enough that you would have nightmares about it years later.
All right. Public humiliation. It's a thing.
When the boys need a spy to sneak into the girls' sleepover to steal their future-telling device, it was
what? Huh?
Pretty much a foregone conclusion who would be attending. They go all out with the realism, and to ensure that no one is searching for Butters while he's gone, they do the only logical thing and fake his death by
They don't want to. They sneak him into They want to sneak him into the girls just so they fake his public suicide. The only logical thing.
Throwing a pig carcass off a skyscraper in front of his parents. Ironically, his parents are the ones that are traumatized this time, and they slowly begin to lose it.
You don't say. Honestly, W. Revenge W. Got him. Got him. Deserved. Deserved. Got him. Got him. Oh well.
And his dad decides to do the only logical thing and goes full pet cemetery. He buries the body at the old Indian burial ground in the hopes of resurrecting his son. When Butters eventually reveals that he isn't actually dead, his parents are completely convinced that the process worked and he's some sort of resurrected monstrosity.
They try to bring him back with necromancy, and then he shows up. And then they actually think he's a zombie now. Oh my god.
They do the only logical thing and chain him up in the basement.
You're kidding me. Oh my, how does it get worse? They take such an unbelievable, wild, disturbing premise, and they somehow build on it. How on earth do you build on fake suicide in front of your parents? How on earth do you do that? Then oh my lord.
For their own safety. Butters is just kind of confused by all this, so he lets them know that he's really hungry. Of course, since he's a monster in their eyes, they misunderstand what he wants to eat and get an interior designer to look at the house. They
think he wants to eat people. Well, it's not an extreme if there's no cannibalism.
Do the only logical thing and lure her into the basement and murder her with a shovel.
What? Dude, this is the many traumas of Nuxanor Taku, okay? I don't even know. How on earth do they...
in front of Butters, telling him to eat her. Again, not the worst thing he's experienced.
No, that's pretty bad. That's awful. His parents just killed someone in front of him because they think he's a monster. Oh.
But I definitely don't envy him.
Can't I just have some SpaghettiOs?
Oh, no. No, this guy. This is crazy.
Season 10 and 11 don't really have any major traumatic moments for Butters, but there are a few smaller ones, so let's rapid fire through them real quick.
All right.
In The Return of Chef, he mentions a previous experience he had with a family member that has some very traumatic implications.
My Uncle Bud did that to me once.
Oh. The poor kid. The poor kid. I can't believe it. I can't believe they were just so casually. Oh, oh Butters, no.
In Go God Go, he believes that he accidentally killed Cartman after helping him with a plan to freeze himself, then unfreeze himself so that he doesn't have to wait until the release of the Nintendo Wii.
Based.
In Cartman Sucks, he is essayed by Cartman and sent to gay conversion camp.
What? Cartman actually...
Nintendo
what?
Wii. In Cartman
What is he doing over... Oh, no. Oh.
Sucks, he is essayed by Cartman and sent to gay conversion camp, but he's totally oblivious to the entire situation, so this one doesn't really count. But while at conversion camp, he does witness several other campers ending their own lives.
Oh. Oh.
So that probably
Oh.
wasn't very fun to see.
No.
And this one's not really a traumatic event as much as it is a representation of his trauma, but in Imagination Land,
Imagination Land. A lot of people have been telling me to react to the Imagination Land shit.
we see how he imagines his father as a monster who's constantly grounding him.
Yikes, dude. Butters, oh my lord. Dude is everything. God damn. The China... Is that really what the episode's called? The China problem? Oh no.
Cartman becomes convinced that the Chinese are taking over the world after
I mean, is he wrong though?
watching the Olympics, and he takes Butters to do some investigative work.
Now this, ladies and gentlemen, this. What's the thing that everyone tries to cancel me for again? Dude, I literally can't even remember. I literally don't even remember. I get canceled for so much shit. This is cultural appreciation at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
Work at P.F. Chang's. Things go south quickly, and Cartman ends up taking everyone hostage, forcing Butters to go along with it. He gives Butters a gun, and throughout the episode, Butters is constantly accidentally shooting men in the dick.
Cultural appropriation. Yeah, that's what I said. Oh my god, no, Butters, dude, he just gets roped into this shit, no.
Cartman then proceeds to shame him every time, even though he was the one encouraging him to shoot people in the first place. And Butters clearly feels really bad about it.
Can't believe you, Butters.
Oh my god, poor guy! Dude! Eat, pray, queef.
Butters is queefed on by one of the girls at school.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough, buddy. That's rough.
No further explanation necessary.
Yeah, true. Girls. Am I right? Women. Ha! Am I right, guys? Women. Ha! Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Women. Oh. That's awful. That's awful, bro. That's insane. That's insane. Literally the worst one so far.
In a very similar situation to Butters being forced to shoot people by Cartman, in Sexual Healing, Butters and Kyle are forced by the US government to kill an alien who they determine is the cause of wealthy men cheating on their wives.
Anything to not take responsibility. Hey, rich people. Oh, well.
You know, if you haven't seen the episode, you're probably incredibly confused right now, but don't worry. It's
not at all. This makes a lot of sense to me. Honestly, this is probably one of the most sensible plot lines in all of South Park thus far. I've seen a lot of crazy, weird shit in South Park, but rich people willing to blame their infidelity on aliens is literally up there with probably the most likely.
Whole thing, we don't gotta get into it right now. But unfortunately for Butters and Kyle, the alien they have to kill is very obviously a man wearing an alien costume, but they're forced into shooting him several times each anyways. They even have to reload in order to take more shots.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. At least give them better guns.
The government definitely wanted them to be fully intentional in their actions, and that's pretty messed up.
Wait, the government gave them guns that they would have to reload on purpose so there was no excuse, and they had to actually make them reload it to make it look like that they were 100% on board with doing. Oh my god, dude. The what trilogy?
So in the Coon and Friends extended universe, Butters plays a supervillain while all the other boys play superheroes. Because
that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
They really get
that's the worst thing. That is literally the worst part.
Into their
This is your favorite episode? I gotta watch these too?
Roleplay. During the Coon and Friends trilogy, they end up actually treating him as a supervillain by locking him in their jail for close to a week.
Dude, that's why he hates getting grounded by his dad. That's literally why he hates getting grounded. He's been locked in a bunker for a week. He's been trapped in a blockbuster movie rack for a week. He's been stuck in the Coon holding cell for a week. He hates getting grounded.
Yeah, but you only gave me this bucket to poop in, and it's full now. And I ain't got nothing to eat. You got poop, don't you?
Oh. Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne. Poop for the poop bucket. Oh, sounds reasonable. Have a nice day. Go away. Go away.
To make it even worse, he's only let out to be a part of Cartman's scheme to blackmail Captain Hindsight, which includes him dressing up as Courtney Love and posing with a naked homeless man. Again, don't worry about that. I don't want to explain it.
Oh, God.
In this one, Butters inadvertently causes an Asian turf war and is grounded because of it. Again, don't ask. Yeah, his parents assume something is wrong with him, so they take him to a psychiatrist.
No. There's no way they do the same thing again, right? There's literally poop for the mouth hole. All right, dude.
The psychiatrist identifies several personalities within Butters and diagnoses him with multiple personality disorder.
Oh.
Of course, these other personalities are just the imagination of a child, but he's treated regardless.
Oh, my God. That's awful. That's awful. I hate false diagnosis shit. That's just so not funny to me because I know people personally that have gotten false diagnoses for crap.
During his sessions with the psychiatrist, it quickly becomes clear that the
the American healthcare system, if we diagnose him, then he has to pay drugs for the American system.
Psychiatrist is the one suffering from multiple personality disorder, and that's pretty terrifying to Butters.
Yeah, this is a big shocker, right? Big shocker. Lots of psychiatrists are actually insane. There's no way. That's crazy. No, that's wild.
Urges Butters to set up a camera to record him while he sleeps, and after watching it back in the morning, Butters sees the psychiatrist break into his room and urinate all over him while he sleeps. When Butters tries to tell him about it, one of the personalities of the psychiatrist force him to help him break into a jewelry store to rob it. Mid-robbery, he all of a sudden switches back and thinks that this was all Butters' idea, calling the police. Butters then decides to get rid of all of the costumes he plays with because he's just so tired of getting in trouble and dealing with this psychiatrist. The psychiatrist then begins chasing Butters, looking like Billy the
Why is the psychiatrist always the fucking crazy? Why is it always the psychiatrist, man? Like, you'll see shit like this, and then parents will tell kids to go to therapy, and they'll be like, no. And the parents are like, why? There's literally nothing wrong with therapy. And kids are like, yeah.
Puppet catching up to him and tackling him. He then kidnaps Butters, threatening that one of his alters has a gun. You know, I'm realizing that it's really difficult to explain this when, like, one character has 4 different characters inside them. It makes it very confusing. Well, basically, all you need to know is that Butters ends up in his house getting chased by the psychiatrist as he switches between personalities, and it's pretty terrifying, and I'm sure he was traumatized.
Yeah, it makes sense. Honestly, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Obama wins. Oh, yeah, that's dramatic as shit. It's like, oh my God, oh my God, did a black man just become the president of the United States of America? And then it just goes to the next episode. I would fucking die. I would literally just kill myself if he did that.
After Cartman conspires to rig the 2012 election, Kyle realizes that Butters knows why he did it. He starts questioning him, but Butters refuses to croak, pulling out an almond M&M and threatening to swallow it.
Wait, what?
This would essentially be an attempt at his own life, since he's highly allergic to almonds.
Dude actually wanted to cyanide himself? Oh.
The pressure boils over, and he ends up swallowing it.
Brother, you're kidding me.
He survives and is further questioned by Kyle.
He actually tries to take his own life. That's unbelievable. Oh my God.
With Kyle threatening to tell his father if he doesn't tell them what he knows. And eventually he does end up caving in. This was definitely all Cartman's idea, and the fact that Butters just accepted his own death and ended up in the hospital is certainly a testament to the fear he has around Cartman.
Honestly true. Holy shit. Butterballs.
In Butterballs, Butters spends pretty much the—
Is this the grandma that kept abusing him and act all wholesome next to him? I've seen this one too, I think. Oh, God.
The whole episode dealing with his grandma bullying him. Obviously, experiencing bullying on his own is often incredibly traumatic for many, so you could only imagine how it would be even more traumatic when it's coming from a close family member.
Oh, this one's fucked up. Grandmas are so wholesome. How could you do this? How could South Park ruin grandmas?
And she treats him absolutely terribly, calling him horrible names as well as physically abusing him. It's implied that this is the case every time his grandma is around, so we don't even know the full extent of this. Butters eventually turns to the only thing that he can think to do by becoming Professor Chaos.
Let's go!
And despite his best
Chaos,
efforts, she
baby!
even has him beaten there with a supervillain alter ego of her own.
Makes sense.
And even though by the end of the episode, Butters gets the last laugh and is able to accept what his grandma has done to him.
Right. In one of the... I went into crazy South Park lore speeches and shit at one point, and he walks into this room and he says to her, "You might be abusing me right now, Grandma, but at some point, you're going to be dead. I'm going to age, and sooner or later, you're going to die. So, you only have a few years left. Hope that's okay with you." And he gets all creepy and shit.
It is undeniable that this certainly was traumatizing for him.
And you'll die. Being nothing but you.
Ah,
Hey, Grandma.
Night, Grandma. Honestly, Butters is so wholesome. Like, it's the idea of the constant positivity and optimism that despite all the fucked up shit he goes through, he could still get up the next day and put a smile on his face.
When Cartman can't handle reading the negative comments on his social media pages,
yo, they just like me, for real, for real.
PC Principal decides to appoint a student to filter out all the hate and print out only the positive comments. Can you guess who this student
No. He makes Butter read all the hate comments.
is? He threatens him with detention if he refuses, and of course Butters can't get detention or else he'd be grounded, so he accepts. This job proves to be much more mentally taxing than he expected, especially when having to filter out hate comments directed towards Cartman of all people. PC Principal then continues to offer Butters service for—
Butters ends up becoming the hate comment reader for every celebrity. Bro literally needs to read through endless death threats of every celebrity. Dude, Butters, I have a job for you. I can hire you, man. Don't worry. I need someone to keep me on the loop with Twitter, but I have no patience for all the death threats.
For more and more people, not only overwhelming him with an insane amount of work, but also forcing him to be constantly reading some of the most heinous things human beings are capable of saying. This progressively worsens his mental state, eventually leading him to experience a full-on psychotic break.
No!
Running around school naked and jumping out of the second-story window. And
oh my God!
as someone who knows what
that's traumatic.
What it's like to have some of the most diabolical things you could imagine written about them in comics.
Wait, Blooms gets hate well, why am I surprised? He talked about South Park. South Park is edgy. Of course, Blooms gets hate comments. But dude, whoever leaves hate comments on Blooms, god damn it, how dare you? Blooms is so wholesome. I like this man. If you want to write a hate comment on Blooms, write it on me instead, okay? I mean, it'll just kind of get lost in the sauce, and that's fine.
Comment sections. Honestly, this reaction from Butters isn't that crazy, especially with how many comments he was reading.
It's a pretty brutal job sifting through all that darkness.
Oh man, poor guy. Boss, even I get hate comments. I've been called everything, gotten death threats. Okay, that's rough. I've gotten more, I promise. I promise I've gotten more.
So with that, we have finally reached the most recent traumatic event Butters has experienced. But before that, let me do some honorable mentions that weren't quite traumatic enough to make the list, but I know people will bring them up in the comments, so here we go. In Season 20, his new girlfriend breaks up with him, which leads him to becoming an incel.
No! No! Alright, that's rough.
It's not really traumatic at all, he just doesn't handle it very well.
What the fuck is he doing? He's holding his fist up and oh my god.
Well, in Season 26, he's arrested for sexual harassment after pinching a classmate on St. Patrick's Day.
No!
In Going Native,
bro, he's just a Why Minecraft YouTuber. He was just butterscotch not found. George not, oh no.
He accidentally sinks an entire cruise ship with a golf ball.
Okay, that's fucked up. That's not an honorable mention. That's fucked up. What are you talking about?
In Grounded Vindaloop, he is stabbed and almost killed while he thinks he's playing VR.
Oh, what? You just gonna gloss over stabbed while he's playing VR?
With how confusing that episode became, I don't even think this actually happened, so I don't know. In The Tale of Scrody McBoogerballs, the love of his life, Kim Kardashian, is murdered by someone who read his book. And in the Tegrity Farms Halloween special, he had this weird relationship with a mummy that, to this day, I still don't even understand what it was supposed to be, so that one may or may not be traumatic.
Well, at least he's not an incel anymore, but what?
I don't even know, really. But the final trauma that we will be talking about on the timeline comes from the post-COVID specials. The kids are all grown up, and Butters is
Alright, I don't know this one. Wait, this Butters as an adult is still getting fucked?
locked up in a mental asylum.
Oh, no! That's the future that it holds? All the wholesomeness, all the smiling, and all the chaos and torture. All the torture he went through, you'd hope at least, because he was just purely kind. He was nice. He was great. There's no way he ends up in an asylum. That is just too sad of an ending. The dark timeline. Oh, there's actually 2 timelines? Okay, alright.
It's revealed that he's basically an SCP, being considered incredibly dangerous to everyone around.
SCP-001 Butters Stotch! What Keter class anomaly?
This all started after he was left grounded in his room one day while his parents went to a movie. His parents never returned, and he was left locked in his room with an iPad for 16 years.
He was literally left in solitary confinement for 16 years by accident, and no one even, what did he eat? Well, he had poop.
During this time of social isolation, he went down some dark paths. He learned how to make money online. He became an expert in scamming people online through
No way he did crypto grifting. He sold NFTs.
shilling NFTs.
Oh,
and even
there's no fucking way.
though he has become incredibly rich from doing so, it's clear that he's still struggling with the trauma of his former life.
You don't say. He's in a padded cell.
I think Butters was a twerpy little loser kid whose parents didn't love him. My name's Vic Chaos.
He had to completely disassociate from his own reality to survive. And he still puts a smile on his face. Here he is, trapped in an SCP holding cell. Just with a smile on his face. A smile on his face. He's still so wholesome. But he had to completely shed his former self because of how sad it was. He became Magneto.
He has become an actual supervillain with a traumatic supervillain backstory to match. Fortunately, the boys end up succeeding in their quest to change the timeline, and these events never actually end up happening. So even though this is the most threatening form of Butters we have ever seen, the real ending shows a man who's living a much happier life as an adult.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
A man who, despite all the horrific traumas he experienced throughout his childhood, was able to overcome them and go on to live happily. And if that's not a testament as to why his character is so universally loved, then I don't know what is. It's really the type of mindset that we could...
A light in the darkness. A beacon in the heart of chaos. This is so wholesome. This is so wholesome. It's a creepy concept to completely disassociate like that. Honestly. But dude, the beauty of Butters' character is the fact that everyone has crazy shit happen to them. Everyone has traumatic experience. You have to try your best to put a smile on your face and make the best out of your situation. And you could end up a happy motherfucker.
Could all learn something from.
I don't know, man. For me, one of my biggest personal inspirations in this regard, my grandfather is a happy man. He's 100 years old. He's a Holocaust survivor. His entire family was murdered by Nazis in the Holocaust. and he's a happy man. He went through more trauma than anyone I know. And he puts a smile on his face when he wakes up in the morning. You know? He built a family, and he made a living, and he's okay, and if that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. It's heavy. It's heavy as shit, but you gotta wake up and put a smile on your face.
Even when things seem like they're as bad as they can get, a positive attitude can make all the difference. And besides, it can always get much, much worse.
Yeah, true. True. Let's not forget that.
So with that, hopefully now we all have a better understanding of the many traumas of Butter's Stotch.
I do. This was a W video. Fucking huge W video.
Everyone knows it's Butter.
That's me.
Hey! Yo, guys, check out Bloons. What a good fucking video. Honestly. I absolutely love that. I love that. I don't know. Great shit. Great video. Very wholesome moral, ultimately. And Butters is just a fantastic character. Despite everything he went through, he is still him. And that's awesome. Definitely check out Bloom. Subscribe to me for more lore dives and random traumatic shit that might change my life for the worse. But see, I'd be a super villain if I was your grandpa. Dude, that's literally Magneto's backstory, okay? Magneto's the greatest freaking comic villain of all time, all right? We're wrapping it there. And cut, baby! If you made it to the end, click one of these 2 videos, which also will definitely get me canceled. See you live on Kick. Stay weird, fam.